Hello and welcome to my tutorial for steel production in Dwarf Fortress. I'm Icon, and in this one I'm going to summarize everything you need to know to produce steel in this game. So first of all, to make steel we require a couple of ingredients. The first and most obvious ingredient would be an ore that yields iron. So when we go over here into the labor tab, and into stone use, we can find all the ores that can produce iron. The typical things you're looking for are hematite, magnetite, limonite. These are the most common sources of iron ore for you. So here, for example, we have large deposits of limonite. You can find magnetite in the walls here as well. You go on over to a smelter and you smelt that stuff into iron bars. There's a task for that. To be able to smelt anything into iron bars, it's necessary to make yourself coke beforehand. Coke is also going to be a very, very important ingredient for our steel production. Technically, as far as I know, you could also use charcoal as a carbon source, but I wouldn't recommend that because, well, unless you're living in a forest tile, then you can go for that. Here we can dig out lots and lots of bituminous coal. That's way to go. And once the bituminous coal has been refined into coke, and once the ore has been refined into iron bars, we can continue and look for the third and last ingredient. That would be flux stone. Flux stone comes in 5 different flavors. One of them here is dolomite. I'm going to show you the remaining ones as well. Here in the stone use tab, you'll find them. There's calcite, there's chalk, dolomite, like I mentioned. There's limestone and marble. All of these 5 rocks can be used for the production of steel. Keep in mind, when you want to produce steel, you have to use an entire boulder. So breaking these up into blocks makes them unusable for steel production. When we have all these ingredients, we can get on over to a smelter and then I'm going to show you the technical details. So here at this place, I have already set up a little bit of a storage area where I only store flux stones at. This is pretty useful because this way you can make the whole traveling time a little bit quicker. Here I use one smelter for the production of coke and iron, and the second smelter will be now configured for the steel production. Steel is a multi-stage product. In the first stage, we're going to produce ourselves so-called pig iron. Well, it's a real term, but I find the term quite funny. So pig iron is being produced out of 1 iron bar, 1 flux stone boulder, and 1 piece of fuel. And then you add in another piece of fuel. So basically it's 1 iron bar, 1 flux stone, and 2 pieces of coke. You use 1 piece of coke as a carbon source for the steel, and the other piece of coke will be used for the actual smelting process. I'm going to show you my personal go-to method, which is pretty much a no-brainer, but there's various ways how you can put up this as an ordering mechanism. So here, to make pig iron bars, I order them to make them whenever we have more than 10 iron bars, because I don't want to destroy the last bit of iron, because keep in mind that you can always transform your iron into pig iron, but you cannot transform your pig iron into iron back. The only way to process pig iron further leads to steel, but if you're out of materials, the pig iron is a much worse material compared to iron. Therefore, the condition here is we only make that if we have more than 10 iron bars. So we're going to make that once per day, or you can configure that as you want to. We're going to leave it with a 5 here. And the second step will now be the production of steel. So make steel bars. And here we take again 1 iron bar, 1 extra iron bar, 1 pig iron bar, the one we made in the process before, yet again 1 piece of coke as a carbon source, and a last piece of coke again as fuel. You can, of course, cut down the coke in this whole equation by a lot if you have a magma fueled furnace, but gotta have that to use that. So Here we go on for a trigger that whenever the amount of pig iron bars available is greater than 1, you could also say that whenever the there's a lot of triggers you could go for. Here I want to transform all the pig iron whenever it's being produced directly. I like that kind of configuration. There's several other ones that you could go for, but feel free to leave in the comment section what's your preferred go-to method. And that's pretty much all. Steel is a very, very powerful material and is, in terms of weapon production, the most powerful stuff you will have until you reach adamantite. So rushing towards the steel production is a really, really fine and wonderful task, and it's totally worth it. So in that regard, all you need to do, you've just seen that, and we're going to be able to make steel at that point. To summarize it, your journey will be look for iron, look for coke, and then look for the flux stone when you got that. Keep in mind that you can easily deplete all of your iron if you don't pull it off correctly. Always keep in mind that pig iron is a worse material than iron, and from that, with that being said, I just wished you a lot of fun with your steel. Feel free to leave me a comment, leave a thumbs up for that video if you enjoyed, and if you have enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. There's a good chance that some of my daily stuff will be enjoyable for you as well. There's also a link to an entire playlist with other tips and tutorial videos for Dwarf Fortress down there. And if you check out the support links down there for Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee, I'd be a super, super happy content creator. Big thanks to all the supporters out there. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.